last week, this newsletter was made available to students and faculty at the Upper Merion High School. It outlines the 28 competencies required of every graduating student under the proposed Project 81 plan. Mr. Richard Manser, a member of the Project 81 task force, explained and discussed the newsletter with interested social studies classes. The investigative action photo video crew was there.
We don't want to stop people from graduating. What we want to do is to guarantee that everybody that walks out the front door has had a block of experiences in common with everyone else. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania establishes certain standards for all school districts in Pennsylvania. The Upper Merion School Board may require things in addition to what the state requires. And indeed, if they accept this, that's in fact what they'll be doing. It's not going to be, what you're going to be getting in the classroom is not going to be a great deal different than what you're getting now, in my opinion. It's just that we are pulling certain things out and saying, this is what the community has asked us to be sure everyone knows how to do. So we'll probably be putting some more emphasis on certain things.
You said that the purpose of Project 81 is to take standards that the community and the school thinks that the student should be able to do, and to standardize them. So shouldn't first and foremost be the basics like math and reading?
Yeah, I agree with you, but that's not something that we were asked to work on. That's someone else is doing that, and I don't know.
Who's doing it?
I don't know.
Isn't it the duty of Project 81 or any project of this sort to make sure that first and foremost that's what's taken care of, because there's many semi-illiterates graduating from high school?
That you're probably correct there. No, our job was to work with a series of competency statements that had come out of a survey of the community, student body, faculty, and so on. The competencies in terms of basic education are to be addressed by someone else. This was not part of the project that I was involved in, so I can't answer your question. I agree with your point,
right.
But I was not involved in that aspect.
So what exactly is the purpose of Project 81?
The purpose was to establish competency statements in areas ancillary to or tangential to basic education.
Not including basic education.
Someone else is taking care of that. Why don't you?
You assume that someone else is taking care of it.
Another problem we foresee with Project 81 is that the individual classroom teacher will be left to make decisions concerning graduation requirements that cannot be readily measured on a standardized basis.
All right, what we did was to establish minimum standards, certain areas that should be investigated and evaluated and assessed. The assessment tool itself is to be left up at this point to the individual classroom teacher.
The Dusk Magazine team suggests that each student learn more about Project 81 and express their opinions to the task force members of Project 81. Following yesterday's Dusk Magazine segment concerning the deterioration of school clubs, Mrs. Kellett approached us with this new viewpoint.
I find too often that people run for office merely to get the credit and not really to do the work. And I am somewhat dismayed by students who make grand promises when they run, make campaign speeches, and then carry through. And I think that they do have to assume the responsibility and somehow be checked on to see that they do carry out the responsibilities. I think that too often they're interested in having their name in the yearbook as the picture in the yearbook. The activity is listed on the transcript, that the sponsor should somehow forward that information to guidance so that that person is validly involved in an activity and not just in name only.
Also concerning yesterday's club segment, Dusk Magazine brings you this editorial rebuttal from Peter Stellian, who was interviewed on yesterday's program. We wish to remind you that Dusk Magazine and its crew stand firmly behind their commitment to yesterday's segment, and the opinions expressed by Stellian in no way reflect ours.
This is to clear up any misconceptions that might have arisen from my interview on Dusk Magazine. I don't feel that Key Club is in as bad a situation as might have been portrayed by the interview. We will still be having meetings, and we do have items planned for the future. I'd like to point out, though, that I feel that Dusk Magazine did not do a fair and objective job in the interview. They made our club and Photography Club and a few other clubs look very bad, when in reality they aren't as such. Key Club is plagued with quite a few problems, but I'm not going to dwell on them right now. I would like to point out, though, that I don't feel Dusk Magazine did a fair and objective job in the interview and in the portrayal of the clubs, especially when one of the the interviewer himself is the president of a non-existent club, and he has the right to point a finger at me when his own house isn't in order. Thank you very much.
In conclusion, we'd like to remind you the Funny Girl will be presented on April 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. You can get tickets from Mrs. Ginsburg or any member of the cast for $3 apiece. Also, Student Council is planning what they call a Spring Fling, a day for all students to participate in activities on the football field. That's for May 20th. Dan?
Due to the massive breakdown in the studio last week, we were not able to bring you Dusk Magazine on Pulse Team 3's week. So we're seeing it today under the generosity of Pulse Team 4 captains Joel Jurgensen and Steve Buse. Our thanks to them. Join us next time. Team 3, hopefully, is on Pulse for another Dusk Magazine. If it's going on in Upper Marion, it's going on Dusk Magazine.
Dusk Magazine. We're working dawn to dusk to keep you out of the dark.